Hey guys, it is Joshua Stern. I am the head coach for Keller Williams Utah, and today I'm bringing you a Do It With You Coach Josh Answers. So, big challenge people are having right now is creating enough social media content to be relevant. And so I'm going to share with you in real time how we can take one piece of content and turn it into 7, 8, 9, 10 different pieces of content to go across all the different platforms. I'm going to share with you how we do this. So the first thing that I've done is I've built what I call the local economist gem. I've done that inside of Gemini, and it helps us to extract meaningful data from the market stats that I provide each week. If you do not have the local economist gem, hit me up at jstern@kw.com and I can help you build that in mere minutes. The second part of this is the market stats themselves. So each week I prepare the market stats for Keller Williams Utah for the Utah real estate market. And I'm tracking total active listing inventory, active in the last 7 days, pending, sold, expired, or price adjustments all in the last 7 days, and then our average days on the market. So I've been tracking this since April 14th of last year, so I've got lots of data on that. The second thing I'm looking at when I provide this to our market center are kind of the national data points. Always curious about what's happening nationally and how that distills through a local lens. So I provide that for you guys on the market stats, but you could do all of this yourself and just do it in your micro market area. So if you're working Daybreak, if you're working Draper, if you're working West Valley City, you would just simply make a micro market version of what I'm sharing with you here. So when you have the market stats, we're going to go ahead and upload those market stats along with what I call a GEO mastery manual. So GEO stands for Generative Engine Optimization. I've taught a class on GEO mastery at Keller Williams. I'll be doing it again in May. But I'm happy to provide you the workbook that I've created. And this is essentially helping the GEM, the local economist GEM, to create material that works to be cited by large language models. This is very important. Large language models are going to all the social media platforms now, LinkedIn, Google Business, and blogs. And in order to be cited, there's a certain thing that you want to make sure that you're doing. So I put all of that into this GEO Dominance workbook. So I'm giving it market stats and the workbook. All right, once I've done that, then I'm going to go to the first prompt that I want to provide for this. In this case, what I'm looking to have that gem do is to extrapolate the number one buyer opportunity and number one seller opportunity based upon this week's market stats. And so that'll take a minute for it to analyze the data and to be able to prepare something that's a meaningful output for us on that. While it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and copy the second prompt, and that's going to be where we're taking the number one buyer opportunity, number one seller opportunity based upon the most recent stats, and we're creating video scripts. But the video scripts are specific. We're asking it for a Gary Vaynerchuk style hook. We're asking for it to deliver the raw data from the stats, no fluff. We want to explain through the lens of a local economist to prospective buyers or sellers of why this data matters. And of course, we want to have a call to action to include with that as well. And so right now we have the agent still working hard on crunching the numbers here. We'll give it another second. It'll come up with the data. Hopefully it'll come up with it fairly quickly. But I love having talking points. These talking points are things that we can talk with both buyers and sellers throughout the week. And it's also the thing that we would use to basically create content. When we create content, video is king, but video is not the only platform that we would want to use. Here it is. March 23rd stats. It's giving me kind of a snapshot of what's going on. It's telling me significant trends for us to pay attention to. It's giving us our market update talking points. So now we know that the opportunity for a buyer and seller is, let's go ahead and create these video scripts. While it's creating these video scripts, I'm going to copy the third one, and that is we want to get those scripts transformed into social media posts that we can put up on LinkedIn, that we can put up on Facebook, on Instagram, And here's our scripts. So you've got your hook, you've got kind of the body of it, and then you've got your call to action at the end, both from the buyer side and from the seller side. And you can see this guy actually created an image for us that we could include into that if that's what we want to do. Now let's go ahead and transform these into our social media posts. I want to make sure we get the hashtags in there. I want it to be very localized. And so here you can see our Facebook and Instagram, the truth bomb. It's giving us a visual hook suggestion, so you can always come into the tools on Gemini and ask it to create an image based upon the visual hook. Here's our post copy. Here's what it means for them. And then of course the hashtags. And LinkedIn's very important. Large language models go to LinkedIn because professionals live there and communicate there, so it gives a lot of heavy weighting to LinkedIn data. And so here's just an example of a CEO summary based upon the data that we've given it. And so finally what we want to do is we want to get this put into a form that we can use for both a Google business post, again this is for large language models and SEO, and then also for a blog post. And inside of the blog post I wanted to make sure that it includes the code for schema. And schema is JSON code that large language models will use to essentially search your data to make sure it's relevant to what a consumer is searching. And so that's why hyperlocal can be really good. And schema just shortcuts the whole process. It's like putting jet fuel in your blog post. So you can see we've got up here a Google profile post. Very simple, very easy, very strategic, very good. Read through it. It's amazing. And then I've got an SEO blog post as well. And at the bottom of this blog post, I have the JSON. Here's the JSON. It's all filled out for me. I simply copy that code, and when I enter in my blog post, I've got the JSON. So there you go, guys. You can take market stats, turn it into top buyer and seller opportunities. You take those, create video scripts. You take the video scripts into social media posts, and then you're also getting blog and Google My Business posts, all of that within minutes. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I know if you guys don't have the GEO Mastery Manual and you don't have the Local Economist Gem, hit me up, jstern@kw.com, or call me. Many of you guys have my number. I'm happy to help you do that free of charge, no obligation.